It is once again October, aka spooky season. And you know what that means? I'm gonna talk about spooky stuff. And to a 10-year-old Jeffery Phillips, what was the spookiest thing in the world? That's right. Creepypastas. According to Wikipedia, a creepypasta is a horror-related legend that has been shared across the internet. Popularized in the 2010s, it was all I wanted to look at as a child. It was all about the rush of knowing that I could possibly see something that would give me nightmares for nights on end. The bread and butthole for me? Video game creepypastas. You know, the usual stuff: Ben Drowned, Sonic.EXE, Lavender Town Syndrome, and Herobrine. They used to all scare the shit out of me. I remember this one video of Herobrine where my friends were watching it and there was a jump scare at the end, and it scared us so much that we had to run to our dads and tell them about it. But enough about me. Psych. Let's talk about creepypastas that gave me nightmares. The first one I will talk about is a relatively basic one, Sonic.EXE. But it wasn't the ROM hack or the lore I found creepy at all. The fear came from one specific video. It was a top 22 video game creepypastas video where Sonic.EXE is ranked second. And the footage it shows is quite possibly the creepiest thing 10-year-old Jeffy P ever saw. It was Sonic in real life, walking creepily towards the camera like he's gonna get you. Which led me to thinking that Sonic.EXE wasn't a ROM hack or anything, it was creepy Sonic coming out of the video game to kill you. And there's nothing that quite scares me like death does. So naturally, for several nights straight, I'd be scared to get up to go to the bathroom because I'd be worried that evil Sonic is waiting in the bathroom to kill me. And if you are wondering, yes, I was one of those kids who was too scared to get up to go to the bathroom because they thought Freddy Fazbear would be waiting to kill them in there. What can I say? The next creepypasta we'll look at is something that had a much more profound impact on my life. It was called Tails Doll. Now you may be saying, a doll? Really? That had a profound impact on your life? Yes, it did. It scared the shit out of me at night. The video I'm looking at today is from 2018, so I don't think it was the original one I saw, or at least hopefully not because I was a teenager by then, but I expect the story to be more or less the same, so let's just jump right in.
Last week, I was cleaning my dorm with my roommate Alexander. Everything was going as usual. Occasionally, we would unpack a box and stumble upon something nostalgic, like our sound recording pens we used to spy with in our freshman year, or old assignments that we thought were torture before, but now would be respite.
Whoa, I think we got an author in the making here. Respite? That's a pretty big word for a creepypasta story.
We were having a discussion about invincibility. Alex insisted that some things were just plain old invincible, while I argued that everything had to have a weak point.
Is that foreshadowing I see in a creepypasta? Alright, R.L. Stein, pack it up. This guy has you beat.
For several hours, we played through every game, reliving our childhood. It was nearly midnight, but we were still going strong. Alex removed the next game from the pile. It was Sonic R. Ooh, Sonic R. The Tails doll is gonna get you. Want to try the curse? He moaned.
Excuse me, he did what?
You play tag race on Resort Island as the Tails doll and tag Metal Robotnik, or Egg Robot, Metal Sonic, and Metal Knuckles, tagging Super Sonic last. After that, the Tails doll is supposed to steal your soul.
Is it just me, or is that way too simple of a curse? That's something that just happens while playing the game. There's no extra work being done to make it a curse. The way I learned the curse is you had to go in the bathroom, turn off all the lights, and play the song Can You Feel the Sunshine, which is like the theme for Tails Doll, and you had to play it backwards while saying something like Tails Doll in the mirror. Sort of like Bloody Mary. You know, the two greatest horror myths for children, Bloody Mary and Tails Doll. And when I was making the video, I had a funny idea. I was like, what if I did the curse to see if it was real as like a joke? But honestly, I'm a little scared to do it. I'm not saying I believe in the Tails Doll curse, but I am saying in horror movies, they don't believe the curse either. And then a ton of bad shit starts happening. So let's think of the risk versus reward here.
The game started. The curse song, Can You Feel the Sunshine, began playing. After what seemed like hours, Alex finally tagged Super Sonic, ending the race. We were both so relieved to have tagged him that we had forgotten about the curse. So when the Tails doll's picture popped up on the screen, we both jumped. Forgot about that, Alex said, breaking the silence. I was so preoccupied with the race. Yeah, me too. Well, this is boring. I'm gonna go get some chips.
They just summoned an evil creature to show up on their TV. In only a few seconds of staring at it, they're just like, well, I'm bored.
Going to get the chips had made me less afraid. I had an excuse not to look at that thing anymore. But even when I was out of the room, I knew that thing was still staring at me. What made it worse was that "Can You Feel the Sunshine" was playing in my head, and I couldn't get it out.
Hey man, it's a catchy song. Nothing creepy about that.
Alex had turned off the Saturn, but the picture of the Tails doll was still on the screen. Its eyes seemed a little blacker.
Tails doll's eyes are already as black as ever. So that's why I think this story is fake.
Alex turned back around and looked at the screen. Instantly, his jovial face was replaced by one of sheer terror. He went back over to the Saturn and unplugged it. Then the TV. Nothing changed. What the fuck is happening? Why is it still there? I unplugged it. What the hell is wrong with this thing? He shouted. Go away. Go the fuck away. Its eyes blackened even more. Alex was provoking it even more with his shouts.
Alright, first of all, swearing and yelling yo away at the creepy doll on the TV is not gonna do shit. When has that ever worked with a demon? It's like in The Exorcist, if instead of using the cross and saying the power of Christ compels you, you instead just said, fuck you! Go away, demon, you fucking bitch! He's been possessed, what do we do? I'm a demon, I'm gonna kill you all. Hold up. I got an idea. Go the fuck away! Fuck you! Fuck you, demon! Fuck you! Go the fuck away! Fine, I'll go away. Also, how about you guys just go away? The threat is in your room. Just get the fuck out of your room.
Go away, you fucking demon.
Alright, Alex, I told you that wasn't gonna work. What are you doing? You're provoking the thing.
The lights in our room cut out. Our faces were only illuminated by the light from the TV. Alex quieted down.
Well, it's about time, man. I hope you learned your lesson.
Tomorrow, I'm going to the dean's office and filing a complaint. I'm going to get new lights, a new TV, a new goddamn dorm. Do you hear me? I wasn't listening. I was distracted by a red light glowing faintly from across the room. I started to get up, in anticipation of it moving closer. Alex was still shouting at me.
Alex, do you ever shut up?
I tapped him on the shoulder and pointed to it. He saw the light too. Heater. I whispered to him. He seemed to understand. We had a heater in our dorm room that was sealed off with iron doors.
Huh. Well, would you look at that? They actually are leaving the room. Pack it up, Arlstein. This guy's thought of everything.
Now! I shouted. The light shot towards us as we began running towards our safe haven. It nearly missed me. He shot past me and landed in a pile of boxes.
That's actually pretty funny, knowing that he was chasing him and he missed so bad he flew into a pile of boxes.
We kept running towards the heater. I was always the faster of the two of us, so I was about 2 feet ahead of Alex when it happened. I took a quick glance back to see a red light rising from the rubble. I also saw Alex's terrified face, trying desperately to keep up. The light shot towards us again. I saw it disappear behind Alex. "Tony!" he shouted. Then Alex fell forward, revealing a bloody claw emerging from his head.
Sorry, Alex. I guess you did learn your lesson now. Don't swear at a demon. They don't like that.
He had given me the time I needed. With one great Herculean effort, I flung open the door to the heater, darted inside, slammed it shut, and jammed it just in time to hear the metallic bang of something hitting the other side. I had made it. I was safe. I thought of every way that I might be able to leave my confines other than the door. The only other way was through the heater itself. If I went through there, I would burn up instantly. I kept trying to think, but there was something that always stopped me. That cursed song kept running through my head. Whenever I would think I'd found a way that would work, that song would play in my head and make me forget my plan because of my fear. Can you feel the sunshine? Sunshine. Sunshine. That was it. I had figured it out. I knew its weak point. Memories of my conversation earlier with Alex came back to me. I'd said that everything had a weak point.
And there it is. Least obvious foreshadowing of the year award goes to this creepypasta guy. And the big twist is that sunshine is Tails Dow's weakness. Really? It's a Dow, not a vampire. Also, that's his theme song. Why would he have his weakness in his theme song?
I mustered up all the courage I had and flung open the door. It was still there. It had been waiting there the whole time, but I had anticipated that. As soon as the door opened, I was out. With one giant leap, I cleared its head, rolled on the floor, and made it to my door.
I like how he says one giant leap like it's not a 1-inch tall doll.
I turned my head. Then the strings holding it closed broke, and it opened its mouth, revealing something bloody. Teeth so sharp at their thinnest point, they were smaller than a plank length, with blood dripping from the sharp tips. I also saw blood on its arms, from where he stabbed Alex in the head. The blood spelled 666.
Tails, why are you emoting right now? The guy's about to exit and you're emoting? You're doing a Fortnite default dance over there while this guy's just escaping?
I had finally made it to the exit. My hand grasped the handle, and with one mighty shove, I pushed the door open and ran out. A second after I came out of the door, it did as well, still gritting with its sharp, bloody teeth. But then it stopped short, as if it had been struck through the heart with a sword. It then began to scream. Its head pointed skyward. Its shrill scream pierced my eardrums as it climbed to the volume of a rocket engine. Then at once, it was enveloped in flames. It began flailing wildly as its skin boiled and blackened, small bits of it breaking off and blowing away in the wind. He had burned to a crisp. All that was left of him was the red glowing gem. I decided to keep it as a trophy for my victory.
Hey man, good for you for surviving. I don't know why you would want to keep the gem. Maybe you would want to destroy it or something, because that's like the only remaining part of him. Crush the thing in the hydraulic press things and make a TikTok video out of it, and you could probably get famous. Yeah. Also, what about Alex? You haven't even mentioned him. Your best friend has just died. And I miss him. So that's the Tails Dow story. How does it hold up? Not so good. It wasn't a very good story, except for the foreshadowing and stuff. I bet the guy felt really smart when writing that. And also, to be fair, this is definitely not the best Tails Dow story. I'll have to revisit this next Halloween, and we'll find a better Tails Dow story to read. Now let's go to the last one for the day. And I made sure it was a good one. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys already knew it because of how iconic it already is. It is the creepypasta.
I wish I would have never played Fortnite.
If that doesn't ring a bell, this should.
Instead of Risky Reels, it was called Rapist Thrills.
Honestly, that clip was peak Fortnite, and it's been downhill ever since. However, perhaps we judged that clip too harshly, and behind that clip is actually an amazing story. Probably not, but let's see.
The game took over my life and my bank account. Well, I say bank account, but that didn't last long as those funds ran out rather quickly. Then it was the credit cards that funded my addiction. You might be thinking, the game is free to play. What are you talking about? To play the game it's free, but you still want the swag.
The game is free, but you still want the swag. I don't think I could have said it any better myself.
I eventually dropped out of college and quit my part-time job to give myself 100% to Fortnite. The real world ceased to exist, in my mind at least.
At this point in the video, I'm not sure whether this game is a cautionary tale for video game addiction or a creepypasta. I could see it just turning into an argumentative essay about video game addiction, and the title will be The Pursuit of Swag and How It Ruined My Life.
A gamer named Dr. Gruesome666 became a member of my guild, the Masons. We started to play duos together on a daily basis.
I ain't got a bad feeling about this guy.
One night, about 2 weeks later, he joined and he said he was going to leave the guild. I was shocked and didn't want this to happen. I asked him what game he was migrating to. He asked me if I was familiar with the deep web. I told him I was as far as knowing what it was, but I never accessed it. He told me that there was a hacked Fortnite client that was being played on the deep web. It was called Last Right. I immediately was thinking bullcrap, but DG never joked about anything.
Yeah, you know what? I would hope someone wouldn't lie about playing Fortnite on the dark web. Seems like a pretty confusing thing to lie about. Honestly, it's embarrassing enough to just admit you're playing Fortnite on the dark web.
He told me that the core gameplay was the same, but the game was much darker and much more macabre. The map was laid out the same, but sections were named differently and were more sinister aesthetically. I was rather shocked by some of the names. Instead of Risky Reels, it was called Rapist Thrills. Dusty Divot was named Bloody Wound. Pleasant Park was renamed Agony Avenue, and Greasy Grove was renamed Disemboweled Drive.
Okay, everybody talks about Rapist Thrills, and for a good reason. It is a ridiculous name. But the other names are just as bad too. Fucking Bloody Wound and Disemboweled Drive? Where we dropping, boys? Oh, I heard it's a hot drop at Bloody Wound, guys.
He said that the skins were very disturbing. He said he found one that went perfectly with his name, Dr. Gruesome666. He said the skin was called Abortionist. He said he looked like a zombie with a ripped bloody smock on it. The pickaxe was a huge rusty bloody scalpel with chunks of gore dripping off of it, and his back bling was an aborted fetus.
I'm sorry, come again? An aborted fetus? What the fuck does that even look like? Just a fetus on your back?
He said his favorite emote was his skin masturbating until climax completion with ejaculation.
They should actually add that emote to Fortnite. That'd be really cool.
I couldn't believe it and finally called bullshit. He got really angry and told me to go to hell and stick with Fortnite.
You don't believe my aborted fetus back bling and my masturbating emote? Go to hell, dude.
He said all the elites are heading to Last Right and thought I would be interested or he wouldn't have even brought it up. I of course didn't want to be left out of anything even remotely having anything to do with Fortnite, so I took the bait.
Sure, man. I know you just want to see that emote. As do I.
DG sent me a link which was just a bunch of numbers, containing nothing like I've seen before. I came to a black screen with a blinking cursor at the center. As I was about to leave the page, I saw hello appear where the cursor was. The next message simply said, "Who sent you?" This was starting to get weird by the second. Why the heck does it matter who sent me? I just responded, "A friend." He responded with one word, "Name." I didn't really think anything of it, so I just typed in Dr. Gruesome666.
What do you mean you didn't think much of it? You were just wondering why it mattered who sent you.
My assumption was that the next page was loading. After about a minute, the screen stayed black, but the word Last Right was in red and appeared in front of what looked like a throbbing blood vessel. I put my mouse over the title and clicked. I noticed a download began immediately for an .exe file. It was pretty disconcerting that something was actually automatically downloading.
I don't know why you're worried about your computer not asking you for permission when downloading something from the deep dark web. That's not even scary. You're trying to play a Fortnite game with locations named Rapist Thrills and you're worried about the computer not asking you for permission when downloading something?
A video feed immediately pops up. The video quality isn't very crisp and clear, probably 1080p. A curtain pulls back and there's a nude man chained up by his arms and legs.
What the fuck is going on? I'm beginning to think that he might not be playing Fortnite anymore.
Then a metal door opens slowly behind the man. It is a man in a white bloody smock that a doctor would wear. He waves at the camera and he walks in front of the man.
Hi, Mike Anderson. How's the weather in Wilmington?
I was taken aback. I yelled at the screen. What the hell is going on? Who is this guy? How do you know all this stuff? He responded,
Why, I am Dr. Gruesome, and I know everything about you, Mike. Old buddy, old pal.
So he did lie for no reason about a gory Fortnite. Leave it to Dr. Gruesome 666 to make me look like an idiot.
Mike, check out my back bling. I told you about it the other day.
He turned his back to the camera, and there appeared to be a bloody something there. Then I remembered what he'd mentioned in our chat earlier. It couldn't be. He backed up towards the camera to give me a closer look, and it appeared to be a fetus. Was it real? I hope to God not, but it looked pretty convincing. He was jumping up and down, laughing, trying to make the fetus move.
Alright, what the hell, man? I thought this was just going to be a creepypasta about Fortnite, and now we got a deranged man with a fetus on his back jumping around. This is not what I signed up for.
DG walks over to the squirming man and proceeds to cut at the top of his forehead at the hairline. Jeff's eyes started bulging out of his head as crimson streams poured.
Alright, you know what? I think that's enough. I thought this was going to be a creepy Fortnite story, but it's became very apparent that it's about a psychopath man on the deep dark web. And I've had enough of it. I did actually finish the story, and the ending is actually pretty insane. The deep dark web guy kidnaps the Fortnite addiction guy's brother, and the guy's like, what can I do to get my brother back? And then this happens.
What do you want from me? What do I need to do? He answered,
Mike, can you send a message back to Brad for me?
What do you want me to say?
Tell him goodbye.
And then it ends. Damn! That's some R.L. Stein shit right there. Overall, what do I think of the story? Funnily enough, it's probably the best written one out of all the stories I've read today. I came into this video thinking it was just going to be a joke one about a creepy Fortnite game, but it turned into a more real story about the deep dark web and didn't have anything to do with Fortnite. But honestly, if I was a kid, that would have scared the shit out of me. But I would say it's not really a video game creepypasta. It's more just a creepypasta in general. So I think inherently a regular creepypasta has a leg up over video game creepypastas, because video games they're just not too scary. Unless they come out of the TV and kill you. That scares the shit out of me. And actually, reading all these creepypastas today, it sparked something in me. Maybe I can be like the creepypastas authors too, and make an amazing story that scares people across the internet. Maybe I can traumatize some kids too. It was a rainy Sunday night, and I had just finished watching Sunday Night Football. I was scrolling online trying to find a Madden ROM to play. You know Madden, the game where football players play football. I had stopped buying copies of the game due to my hatred of EA, the company that makes the games, but still my desire to play the games persisted. After a few minutes of scrolling, I found a download named Madden.gore24.iso. Finally, I thought to myself, can't wait to play some good old-fashioned football. But as I clicked the link, a shiver went down my spine and thunder rumbled across the sky. I shuddered but thought nothing of it. What a fool I was. It took a whole 35 minutes to download that ROM. Usually that would make me upset, but I took that time to have myself a good wank, so I didn't mind. Once the download and I finished, I eagerly opened up my emulator and opened up Madden. Everything seemed fine until the title showed up. Instead of Madden 24, it was called Madden 20 Gore. Must just be so EA won't be able to find the ROM, I thought to myself. How stupid I was. First thing I did after opening the game is I made a franchise mode using my favorite team, the Chicago Bears. Using this team in video games helps me forget how bad they are in my real and very sad life. The first game against the Packers was going normal as usual. I threw 2 interceptions, but it was due to the all-Madden CPU rigging the game and had no correlation to my skill level whatsoever. I was minutes away from quitting out of the game and replaying the game when I saw something that I've never seen in Madden before. I gave the ball to my running back like any other usual play, but this time when my running back Roschon Johnson got hit, his helmet came flying off, which confused me because players' helmets had not been able to come off of the player's head since the 2000s. But what really unsettled me was Roschon Johnson laid still on the ground, as if he was knocked out, and the players around him were all taking knees. I had never seen this animation in my life. But after a few seconds of nothing happening, I got really bored and went to go grab some chips. But while I was grabbing them, I couldn't help but feel something was very wrong with my game. When I got back to the game, it was back to normal. I quickly went to the injury report to see how long my running back was out. But as I read the report, my face went cold. Under the report it said, out forever. Dead. I was now getting suspicious that this game might have been hacked. But nonetheless, I was winning by 3, so I decided to keep playing. My anxiety died down when the next game I played had nothing weird happen in the game. But while I was playing my week 3 game against the Chiefs, my game really started acting weird. The Chiefs' overall ranking was 666, which I was really confused about because usually the rankings can only go up to 99. But even more confusing was the game's location. One word, hell. When I loaded up the game, the usual green grass of the field was replaced with a bloody red, and the weather was cloudy. I ran the first play of the game, a slant to Chase Claypool, and as he got hit, not only did his helmet fly off, but his head did too. I gasped, looking at the bloody mess of a player that was left. But just as soon as it happened, it was gone, and the players were lined up at the line as if nothing happened. I didn't even want to check the injury report. I was sick to my stomach. I didn't even want to continue playing, but I knew I had to, in honor of Roshan Johnson. But the next play was even worse. I dropped back to pass, but got sacked. And Justin Fields' whole top half was dismembered from his body, and the defensive player picked up his intestines and started whipping people with them. I had to pause the game. It was too much for me. But on the pause screen, I saw something even scarier. Instead of the name Justin Fields, it said, I'm just in your house. What? That's impossible, I thought to myself. Just then I heard footsteps in my kitchen. I was shitting bricks by then. Who are you? Go the fuck away, I yelled. Okay, I will, said the voice from the kitchen. But then he said, psych bitch. I heard him run to my room. It was Andrew Wilson, EA CEO. Never download my games, he said, as he pointed a gun to my face. Stop, what can I do to stop you from killing me, I said. Nothing, he said.